Happy Sunday. Good afternoon. I always want to say good morning because a minute ago it was. See, that's magic, isn't it? A minute ago it was morning and now it's noon and it's afternoon officially since it's 12 something. It's not even 12:01 yet, but it's 12 something. Happy Sunday. I hope that this week has gone spectacularly well for all of you. It's been an interesting week here, and I'm glad you're here because that sort of makes the week complete or starts off the new one in the best possible way, whichever way you want to look at that. Hello, Nancy. Hello, Heidi. Happy Sunday. It is, isn't it? It's a happy kind of day. It's beautiful outside here. I can see the islands, kind of. I know they're there. I'm not sure how much is my knowing that they're there and how much is what I can see right now because the marine layer hasn't pulled out completely yet, but still in all, it's clear and it's beautiful. Heidi's taking us out to the garden. Oh, good. Happy Sunday, Dana. Happy day to everyone. What a spectacular day. I just finished watching David Bruner on Facebook. Was he on Facebook? On Facebook. From the San Jose Church. Most of you, all of you, I'm sure, will remember David. He was not only a practitioner with us while he was a ministerial student, but he was also director of practitioners for quite a while. And then he left to be the minister of the Church of Religious Science in San Jose, which is where I went to ministerial school. So I'm connected. I'm connected. Still calls me Ma. Ma. Not mother, not mom. Ma. So I am Reverend Dr. Ma. And I just love listening to David. I've got a bunch of spiritual kids out there doing work in the world, and it just thrills me every once in a while to just be able to take a break and see how well they're doing. He's been at the San Jose Church now, hold your breath, for over 20 years. I just find that spectacular. Spectacular. That doesn't happen very often that a minister will stay in a church for that long, and I am so proud of him, and he's done such good work. And they are right now raising funds to replace the roof, which he said was 1 year past its expiration date when he got there. So the roof is living on 2 decades of borrowed time, and it is absolutely time that they replace it. So if you want to make a donation, I'm sure you can just Google the San Jose Church of Religious Science. Now it's probably the San Jose Center for Spiritual Living. I'll learn one of these days that they've changed their name. And contribute and let him know that you're doing it because you heard it here. I'd love that. Let's help David raise the roof on the church. It's a big church and it's got a lot of roof. So they need all the help they can get, and I'm sure that we can do something collectively to support him and support the new roof. I think we can do that. Anyway, he was wonderful to listen to. I could listen to David all the time, and I was laughing this morning because I thought I'm listening to him try to raise funds for the roof, and I'm enjoying listening to him trying to raise funds. That's a good speaker. When you can be listening to a fundraising talk and still love listening to them. David's just spectacular. I love him. And yeah, I see a few of you remembering him. Heidi does. He's a sweetheart, my little David. The young David, they used to call him back in the day. That was over 20 years ago. And you know, he still looks like the young David. He hasn't changed, I don't think, a bit. Maybe a few more tattoos than he used to have. He had on a shorter sleeved shirt today, and his tats were showing. They're very colorful. There's a lot of them. It kind of takes my breath. But that's, different generation. He's adorable anyway. And he was doing a great job this morning of making you just want to help contribute to this Raising the Roof Fund. So if you want to be part of that, just Google San Jose Center for Spiritual Living and go to their site, and I'm sure there's something on the website about that or where you can get information about it. I had to leave 42 tats. Hi, Paul. We met Paul in San Jose at the San Jose Church, didn't we? Yes, we did. And that's one of the greatest things that I brought back from there. So I'm thrilled to have Paul with us. As Harry Potter 42 tats. Are they all Harry Potter? I wouldn't be surprised. He's quite a Harry Potter fan. 42 tats, huh? I would think after a while they all run together and it like becomes one, doesn't it? All are one? No? All are 42 Harry Potter tats. Okay, see, you learn something new every day. I was also just on Unity. It's Sunday mornings are really interesting around here sometimes because I was just on Unity Ventura's Sunday morning service as the guest speaker, and that was fun. I taped it earlier in the week and sent it over to the music director who puts it all together and makes it look like a service, and just did a spectacular job as usual this morning. The man is extremely talented, and has a good voice and is just fun to be around. So he's actually been doing some great work with the COVID thing and people not being in church, and really created a service that's fun to watch. All these different segments that he somehow manages to splice together and create a unified whole out of the whole thing. I don't know how he does it. I just send my piece and he does what he does with it. And if you want to see how that turns out, you can go to the Unity Ventura website and watch stuff there. Okay? There. So much my commercials for the morning, all for somebody else. I love it. Don't you? Yeah, it's kind of fun. Be able to promote other people's ideas and thoughts and projects. I'm getting a look from the technical department. Hold on a minute.
I just emailed David and told him what you did, and so he can expect some support.
Oh, good. You probably heard that. This new microphone is wonderful. It picks up everything. But if you didn't, CAC said she just emailed David and let him know that I kind of promoted the roof idea here, and that he can probably expect some support. So I would like that. I would like that very much. If you could do that, I intend to do whatever I can to support him and their new roof. I love that old building. Like I say, that's where I did ministerial school. So I'm kind of connected to the building as well as to its minister. It's a very special place. And it deserves a new roof that is now 22 years past its expiration date. Yeah, it's time. It's time. It's an old building, but it's spectacular, and they've done some interesting things. I would guess that if you go to the website, you can probably even listen to this morning's talk, and hear the whole thing. And he talks about the last remodel that they did, and the changes that they made, and why they need a new roof, and what they did as part of that remodel, which was pretty clever. And I'm not going to give it away because I kind of want you to go listen to David. So I'll let you do that because it's worth it. He's pretty good stuff, I think. I think so. But then he's one of my kids, isn't he? I got a few of them. I consider Jefferson one of my kids. He usually shows up on Sunday or Wednesday, and he's a minister as well now. Edward Vilhoun, who was one of my kids and called me Ma, um, is now the president. No, the spiritual leader for Centers for Spiritual Living. He's the big guy now. So my kids are doing well in the spiritual world, and that makes me really happy. It makes me really happy. And my biological kids are doing pretty well too in the real world. So I'm feeling like I'm batting 1,000 right now. I'm feeling like a very lucky mom on several levels, and and you guys are my kids too, aren't you? Oh yeah, thank you, Kat. She's put up the contact for the San Jose Church of. I'm gonna do it again. The San Jose Center for Spiritual Living. I'll get it. I'll get it. I eventually catch up with the times. I'm just usually slightly behind the curve. So they're all centers for spiritual living, but you see, for most of my lifetime, they were the Church for Religious Science. So it's taking a little bit of a shift here. No excuses. I'll just get on board when I get on board. All right, let's talk magic and magical things and magical places. I think that would be fun today. Some of you are going to hear stuff you've heard before. Just hang in there, would you, please? And and just know, as usual, I have a point and I will get to it. I just sometimes have to kind of go around the circle a little bit. So bear with me as I move into that magical space. For a lot of years, oh gosh, a lot of years, longer than David's been in San Jose, I had a miracle place. A place that I could go to and pray and absolutely expect miracles to occur. And you know, they always did. It's summer now. And in summer, my thoughts just naturally turn to that miracle place and the miracles that happened there or started there. The place was Asilomar. Some of you, I'm sure, said it with me when I said it. And it was the annual gathering of the people of the Church of Religious Science, which it was before it was Centers for Spiritual Living. And there was a special room at Asilomar, Sanderling, which was set aside for prayer and for the answering of prayer requests. You could, there all around the grounds there were little boxes where you could put in prayer requests, but you could also go into Sanderling and just sit and pray. And there was always a fire burning in the fireplace, and there was always a practitioner there ready and willing to pray with you. And if you just wanted to be alone, she had a stack of those prayer requests from all over the grounds that the practitioner, she or he, would sit and pray on for the hour that they were there. It was always special to be in Sanderling, whether I was there to pray on my own or to try to work something out in my mind, or whether I was there serving as a practitioner praying on the prayer requests. Sanderling had a view of the dunes and the ocean beyond the dunes, and it just felt holy. It felt like a place where miracles were manufactured. And for a lot of us, it was exactly that. A lot of you have heard the stories before, so I won't go into a whole lot of detail. But I would be remiss, I think, and it would feel like I was being ungrateful not to acknowledge at least a few of the miracles that happened there. Because the magic was ongoing, and listing all of the miracles would take way too long, and most of it would be boring to anyone but me. I'll keep the revealing of my miracles to the 2 years that centered around my ministry. So, the first year I discovered that there was a ministerial school in the San Jose Church of Religious Science, where David is now. Who knew? Well, I didn't know. I knew there was one in Los Angeles, but the one in Los Angeles had hours and stuff that really didn't work out too well for me. I had done my practitioner training there, and well, going up the 405 at to be at a 5 o'clock class was just horrendous. We had planes land on the freeway. We had trucks across the freeway, all kinds of stuff that got in the way. So I wasn't at all excited about the idea of going to ministerial school in Los Angeles. And here I was at Asilomar discovering that there was a ministerial school in San Jose. Not only did I discover that the school existed, I applied to it and was accepted all in the 1 week that I was there at Asilomar. And a week later, I flew to San Jose and was officially in ministerial school. It was an exciting time. The second year, I filled the whole week with prayers for my life. A divorce was happening. The business that I had been operating was closing. Oh, there was a lot going on. Anyway, all of that had left me very short on funds, out of work, and on the surface, unable to return to the school of ministry because, well, it cost money to be there and I didn't have any. I had paid for Asilomar before all the drama started. So I went. I figured it couldn't hurt. And I did what I knew to do. I went into Sanderling and I prayed. And I also filled up most of the prayer boxes around the place because, well, it couldn't hurt. One afternoon, on my way out of a Sanderling, I ran into one of my fellow students. And he said, I just heard that you weren't coming back to school in September. But I have to tell you, something in me knew that things had changed because I had prayed. And so I said to him, I'm not sure how, but I'll be there. I didn't know how. I was absolutely clueless. But somehow I knew that God knew. And, well, I had put it in God's hands because I didn't know what to do. And also with the realization that if there was something I needed to do, like go get a job, I'd get the instructions, that the path would be made clear. That I trusted. So I left Asilomar on Saturday when the program was over. And then it started. On Sunday, I had my first paid speaking engagement as a minister. I only made $25, but I counted it as a miracle. That was Sunday. On Monday, the San Jose school called and said they were granting me a full scholarship and that it would cover all of my enrollment fees and class fees, and there would even be a small stipend left over for books. On Tuesday, I got a job. I had been looking for months and kept being told that I was overqualified, underqualified, not right for the job. And I was trying to be honest, so I told people that I was in ministerial school and that I couldn't work weekends because of my classes, and that I would probably be leaving after about a year, and that just seemed to mess up most of my chances. Except that on Tuesday, I got a job. It was 9 to 5, Monday through Friday, which was perfect since the classes in San Jose were on the weekend. And that job continued to support me through the next year and into my first year of ministry. It was perfect. And it just kept getting better. On Wednesday, the news announced that there were about to be fare wars between the airlines, and that round-trip tickets from Long Beach, which was the closest airport to me, to San Jose would be $69 round trip. That I thought was absolutely wonderful, and there's got to be a way I can come up with some money. On Thursday, I was told that I would be given my dream internship, working with my favorite minister and being paid $50 a month. Nearly one plane flight. I was thrilled. On Friday, it isn't over yet, I went to a dinner party at a friend's house, where I was informed that since several of the people present had attended the San Jose School of Ministry, they knew the challenges, chief among them getting back and forth to San Jose. So they had taken up a collection among themselves and presented me with enough money to pay for nearly a year's worth of flights at the new fare. I was breathless. I was in awe and in tears. So on Saturday, God rested a little, and I prepared a mini talk for my first Sunday as the new intern at the Whittier Church of Religious Science, where I was allowed, no, required, to give a short talk every Sunday. What a blessing. The opportunity for an intern to practice speaking in front of a congregation every single week. I couldn't imagine anything better. So, what was it about that place? Asilomar, my miracle place. I've been back on my own a few times, and I discovered that, generally speaking, Sanderling is just another meeting room with a great view, and it's available to any group that wants it for whatever purpose. No magic, no power. And yet I know that for many years, walking through that door changed my life. What, I wondered, was the magic? Where was the power? Where did it come from? And then it came to me. The room, the place, had no power, except the power that I gave it. At Asilomar, I took the time to remove myself from appearances, to rest and stop putting out fires of my own making. I took the time to talk to creation and to listen to the answers. so that when I left, I was in touch with a greater reality. I was physically rested and ready to take positive action. I was available to hear and be guided by my inner voice and not the voices of the throngs. With all of that in place, faith trumps fear. And life is ripe for miracles to occur. When faith finds its place, there are no limitations. And miraculous results can occur. Walt Whitman once wrote, "To me, every hour of the light and dark is a miracle. Every cubic inch of space is a miracle." See, with belief like that, how can life be anything less than a miracle? How can events be anything less than miraculous? Ernest Holmes wrote, "We live in a sea of perfect life." Live in a sea of perfect life. And we should take the time to understand this. What is there to be understood? But that spirit cannot be limited. Holmes didn't say we live in a pond of perfect life or a bathtub of perfect life. He said we live in a sea of perfect life. Spirit cannot be limited, not by space, not by chance, not even by time or place. And to know that all that Spirit knows is completion. Spirit knows how to take a thought and make it real. Now, before they call, it says, I shall answer. Before they call. Before the words are out of our mouths, before the prayer is spoken, the very idea of it reaches creation, and creation begins the process of making it real. Jesus said, when you pray, believe that you have and you shall receive. Notice the words. Believe that you have. Not believe that you might get. Not believe that if God might be listening. Not believe if that's right for you. But believe that you have. Right now, have it. And you shall receive. We've got to get over a belief in the limitation of time and space and expand our belief in the unlimited power of creation to do miraculous things. See, time, as it turns out, really is on our side, because in creation there is only now. And now is where creation happens. So it's never too late. Never too late to give up our fears or our doubts or our prejudices or our little ways of thinking. Never too late to abandon a limited life. Ernest Holmes again. We are born of eternal day. The spiritual sun shall never set upon the glory of the soul, for it is the coming forth of God into self-expression. See, we are, each of us, that coming forth. Our lives are that glory expressing. There is the magic of the idea, the fact that that which we believe, that which we think, that which we hold on to becomes our reality. Wow! That's better than abracadabra. That's spiritual reality, which looks like spiritual magic. And it happens in the now. The time that we have at our disposal is elastic. We can expand it or contract it with our consciousness. If I think there's only this much time, then there is that much time, and maybe even less. And if I think that there's that much time and that it is unlimited right here in the now, well, so it is. Time lingers for eternity for those who wait. And it fills eternity for those who live now. Sweet, amazing, miraculous memories. Sadly, the church no longer holds an annual gathering at Asilomar, and Sanderling remains a regular meeting room used for whatever purposes. I mourn the loss of that very special place in a very special time. But all things do, in fact, come to pass. They do not come to stay. And though I am sad that it no longer exists as it did, I am uplifted and inspired by what it did. But I've made a discovery. Although I will always acknowledge the place Asilomar holds in my memory and in my heart, and though I will always give Sanderling credit for the miraculous way that prayers were answered there, the miracles were called upon there, but they happened in other places. Asilomar, Sanderling, they were the door to the miraculous. But they were not the miracle. The miracle was the realization of the faith of those who requested prayer and who prayed there. The miracle is the creative power, the God power that each of us contains within us. The power that stands ready to manifest the moment that, believing, we truly claim a new reality. It's easy, in the hustle and bustle of daily life, to get caught up in the appearances, to buy into the drama, and to allow ourselves to be driven by the atmosphere of frustration and panic that is so easy to buy into. But we mustn't. Getting caught up in the chaos only creates more chaos. Getting lost in the drama only creates more drama. What it doesn't do is create the space for miracles. What we must do to create the magic, to welcome the miracles, is this. We must find the time now to remove ourselves from the appearances, to rest, to talk to creation, to listen. Take time. Make time for miracles. The rewards are quite literally awe and then some. We need to make time. I would suggest use your worrying time more productively. Instead of fretting about something or worrying about how something is going to happen, use that time to know how truly creative you are, how miracle making you are. And if you don't believe that you are based on past experience, then know that something within you is. My dogs are supporting the idea. We have to learn to make time for the miraculous, to not let these special miracle moments get past us because we're all wrapped up in something else, because our mind is wrapped around the latest catastrophe. To paraphrase a 19th century poem, a little time for laughter, a little time to sing, a little time for your heart's desire. There is time enough in eternity for everything. For everything. It's not too late. It's not too early. It's just time now, if you believe that. Or better yet, in Ecclesiastes, we find for everything there is a season and a time for every purpose under heaven. What's your everything? What's your heavenly purpose? Do you expect that it will take a miracle for that to happen? Good. Because here's the good news. Miracles are perfectly natural occurrences that we just didn't think would happen. But they do. And too often, when they do, instead of acknowledging it as the result of the divine power within us, we reach out for a supernatural explanation. We look for an external cause, or look to an outside place to justify what, in fact, our faith has produced. We look too far away for reality. The power is not in another person or a place. The power is within you. It has been there all along, waiting for your recognition of it, your calling it up into being. I was reading a fascinating article entitled "Magic, Do We Need It?" by Mitch Horowitz, the author of The Miracle Club, How Thoughts Become Reality. Sounds familiar, doesn't it? Anyway, in it he writes, next time you wish for something, whatever it may be, convince yourself that you are, in fact, possessed of vaster abilities than cognition or physicality and ordinary sensory experience. We've amassed too much evidence to doubt this. We are miracle makers, spiritual magicians, if you will. I'm likely going to at some point talk more about Mr. Horowitz, but for now, this small piece of his will suffice. His point is this: we don't need magic wands or magic pills to create what seems like magic. We already have within us all that we need to manifest all that we need. Look within. There is the door right there in the sanctuary of your soul. There is the door to the magic, to the miraculous, to healing, to wholeness, to joy, to prosperity and love and life. Most of you have gone through the door and created at least partners, palaces, and parking spaces. But its potential is so much greater. There was a time when we thought we couldn't do partners and palaces and parking places, and then we discovered that we could. Now up your game. Because that power within you is not limited to such little things, but in fact has created whole universes and can create your life in a spectacular way. The magic is within you. The door is within you, right there, in the center and the circumference of your life, at the center of your consciousness and your awareness of the unlimited. Right there, the door waits. Knock, and the door will be opened. Believe, and you will find. Your desires are the roadmap. Desire in its root means of the Father, of God. That's the way. Those urges and nudges and feelings of, oh, if only those, it's God tapping on the door. Your thoughts are the way. Follow your heart. And know that of magic doors there is this. We do not see them, even as we are passing through. Be a magic maker in your own life. Be the power and aware of the presence. You don't need a wand. You just need a little more faith. Watch what that can do. My thought for the day. What have you guys been up to while I was talking? Let me see. This is fun. I can check you out. Okay, Heidi. Unclogged. Creativity flowing right now through you. Can you imagine God in the middle of creation, in the middle of creating the universe, saying, I just can't think of another thing to do? You're that. Turn that loose. You know, I can't talk about doors ever without thinking about that one trip that we took. Heidi had her camera out taking pictures of doors everywhere. Some of the most beautiful doors I have ever seen. It was like Heidi said, I want pictures of doors, and they materialized out of nothing. These fabulous doors with peeling paint on them and just all kinds of wonderful things. I'll never forget that. Thank you, Diana Lee. She asks that we post the Relevant Spirituality donation link. And you can go to www.relevantspirituality. Of course it's done. Of course it's done. But you go there anyway. Yes, Paul, that's Asilomar does have very interesting history. One of the most famous women architects in the world did the administration building there, and then eventually did many of the other buildings as well. The place was miraculous, and I personally feel that Ernest Holmes' best talk ever, at least that I've read, was his Sermon by the Sea, which was spoken in the chapel at Asilomar. And the first time I spoke there in the chapel, I just could feel the presence and the power of the place. Amazing grounds. Good, Donna. Yes, believe in miracles. Believe in miracles in your life. Well, thank you, Nancy. Nancy says, we're a small group, but I know by sharing Reverend Marlene's important message can and will be heard by many. Yes, please share. I am so grateful for those of you who do that, because it's exponential. If you put it on your site, somebody's going to read it there. Maybe they'll share it. All kinds of interesting things. Now, it's kind of not like having a brick and mortar church, because there you can count heads. And here I never know. But my vision is that we share this. Truth is truth. And we share it, and that it reaches many more people and gets out there. And they can come and listen to us live, or they can listen later. We don't care. I'm busy reading your chat. Yes, Dana, and truer words. We're stardust. We're stardust. Carl Sagan said, you're made of stardust. You're made of star stuff, don't you know? And so many people don't. Carl Sagan, the scientist, you're made of star stuff. And yeah, we've got to get ourselves back to the garden. We've got to start treating this planet as the garden that it is, and cherishing it and caring for it. Yes. Could we do a virtual Asilomar? I'm going to say yes, because I always say yes. And I have no idea how that would happen, but I'm going to say yes. And then we'll figure. See, if you don't say yes first, then you never get around to figuring it out, do you? But once you've said yes, then you're kind of committed. So I've been in and out of a couple of businesses in my life, just saying yes and then figuring out how to do what needed to be done. So sure, can we create a virtual Asilomar? Yes. Do I know how? Not yet. Everybody start saving up ideas. Oh, Don, big difference between doorway and doormat. Big, 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 big difference between doorway and doormat. Huge. Not even connected, except by the word door. Be the door. You are the door. Nancy says, by we, I mean you. Oh, no. They are doing a virtual workshop, but I don't know. Whether it's going to feel like a Asilomar. Be interesting to see what they do. It's the annual convention. They're taking the convention spot, which has always been different than a Asilomar was. Different feel to it, because there will be business involved as well. But there will be workshops. Um, we'll keep you posted on what we know. Yeah, CAC's going to do a whole workshop for that on cyber wellness, which is something I think we can all get to understand, especially. I mean, how many of you are spending a lot more time in front of your computers now with staying home? And she's going to talk about how not just physically to be weller and to take care of your physical self, but also how to take care of your mental and your spiritual self while doing. I should let her be doing this, but I'm doing it, so there we go. We'll tell you more about that as the time gets closer, too. We will do that. All right.
Tell them I'm doing it with Cindy Warden.
Oh, that's right. I forgot.
She's a
Yes,
guest.
CAC is doing her workshop with Cindy Warden, and all of you, I think, know Cindy. Cindy was our musical director for quite a while. That's another crazy redhead. Um, best kind of crazy, terrifically crazy redhead. And Cindy was literally diagnosed with cyber sickness. It's a real thing. It's a real thing. It sounds like something you made up, but it's not. So she's going to talk about her experience and what she's done to be well, and I think it's something we can all use and learn from. Yes, yes. Okay, there we go. CAC says it will be all posted in September. I think that's probably true. They'll have all of their stuff wrapped up, and you'll have an idea of what's going on. So, having said all of that, I think we should pray. Don't you think we should pray? I love to pray with you. It always feels so right and perfect, and where two or more are gathered, miracles happen. So let's make us a miracle today, shall we? Close your eyes if that's comfortable for you. If it's not, just soft focus so that you're not staring at a screen. Just let your eyes fall on something comfortable and then kind of lower your lids and just take an easy breath. So often they tell us to take a deep breath, and then I don't know about you, but I get all wrapped up in whether or not I'm taking a deep enough breath. Just take an easy breath. And in the gentleness of that breath, go within. Let it just escort your mind to the door. To that sanctuary within. And just place your hand on the door. Knock softly. And it will open. It does open. Nature, life, God awaits within. Always there, always available, always ready, always responsive. There in the sanctuary of your own soul, creation waits with eager longing to fulfill the desires of your heart. There is nothing to fear in this place, for it is a sanctuary. and only Spirit waits for your awareness, for your word, for your prayer. And so today, in the realization that God is all that there is, that everything seen and unseen is the life of Spirit expressing, that we are the life of Spirit expressing, each one of us an individualization of the one. Each one of us an opportunity that Spirit has taken to go forth into the world in a new way, in a way that has never ever been done by anyone before, nor will ever be replicated again, for you are unique and precious. And those whispers that you hear, those nudges that you feel, those ideas that light up your mind and say this, do this, be that. Those are the urgings of Spirit to try something new, to be something new in you, as you, through you. And so today, we listen. And we hear. And we allow Spirit to move through us in a new way. And it is as though a magic door has been opened and miracles pour through. And we accept them. We accept that throughout the next week, miraculous things will occur in each one of our lives every single day. And we don't miss them. We see them, we feel them, we know them to be what they are, and we accept them. The miraculous, the magic. And it will be different in each of our lives, but have no doubt it comes from the same source and is intended to do the same thing, which is to remind each of us that we are the thing itself, expressing, that we have the power which is unlimited to be, do, and have whatever we can conceive. And so gratefully we simply allow that to be our reality. Miracles are us. We are the magic in form. We are the Spirit of God in reality. And we are so very deeply grateful for the way that shows up in each of our lives this week. Let us take notes that we might remember. Each day, let us simply write down the miracles as they show up. Accept them and let them be so. And so it is. Wow. What a week we are going to have. individually and collectively. Keep me posted. Come to this same place and let me know what's going on. I love your feedback and your comments. Let us be this week what we are intended to be, revealers of the magic, children of the miraculous. Let us be that. And come back to this same spot, this same Facebook page, and let me know what's going on. Tell me about your miracles. Tell me. I expect to hear about miracles this week from each one of you. I know it will be so. And so it is. And on that note, I love you. Happy Sunday. Have a fabulous week. I know you will. See you back here Wednesday night at 7 or next Sunday at noon. Go be a blessing in the world. That's what you were created to be.